Okay, today I'm just turning some things into searchables and breakables, so I'll show you that. So this bookcase here, thanks to multi-story dungeon, I'm going to turn this into something I can search and then drops loot. So what I need to do is I'm going to find the prefab of it. Here it is. I'm going to duplicate that, Control and D. So this is big preset 02. I'm just going to rename it just to keep it 02 highlight. So I'm putting highlight at the name of everything that I put my mouse over, and it highlights like that. So now I have this new version. New version doesn't need a box collider. All I need is the mesh really. So let's just take that off. And now I'm changing the material. So if I click on this, you see I've already made, here's the original Atlas furniture. I duplicated it. I have two versions of it. This one's the attackable version, the red. So it'll indicate that you could blow it up. And this is the other one, which you could search it. So what I did is I used the outline shader that's included. Just went to outline and then chose that one. And then I'm able to fiddle with these things here to get the outline. And I could put the texture in there. So I'm using this. So let's go back there now that I've explained that. Go back to my highlight. I just changed this into that one, the Atlas Furniture highlight. I drag that into the scene and see now it's got the highlighted version. Okay, so I'm going to need that one, so I'm going to drag it into the scene. Yeah, it's making sure it's the same one here. No, that's not. Whoops. There we go. All right, so I have this one, and now we're going to turn this into a searchable. I'm going to reset the rotation. You'll see why in a minute. I have this original cupboard big preset. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to drag this one in here. So I got a clean copy. All right, I got my two models, and basically all it does is going to switch between these two when you mouse over. So in order to do that, I've made over here in my prefabs folder. So this is under the ARPG, prefabs, looting. I have this right here. It's got a searchable script. So I could drag this into here, and you'll see there's nothing but an icon and some boxes. The icon comes from this script here. Feel free to attach it to whatever you want. And then you got to put the path of what the icon you want to draw. It's been pretty handy for me. But now you see up here, we have the new base. So what I'm going to do now is make a variant of it after I take these things and attach it as children. So I got this one highlight. This is going to be the highlight mesh. So I'm going to attach it as a child and then reset it. And then here's the original mesh. Attach it to the original mesh, reset it. So now you see we have the base with the two different meshes there. Then the next thing is I've been going into new folder, making that a variant. Oops, before we do that, let's name it. So this is big. Let's see, cupboard. Oh, that's not a capital B. Big. And this is 02 since there's another one that I've already done. So now I'll make it a prefab variant. There it is. So, I could just delete this if I wanted to, drag this in here, and now it's all set up. So what I'll do now is I'll rotate it, and you'll see a few things here, these icons. One of them indicates that this is something you can search. The other one is the drop location. So I'm going to click on drop location. So when you search it, where do you want the loot to drop? And that seems fine. Just testing it now. So that's going to be the drop location. And the other thing, you see this box collider here. That's the area, if your mouse is over, it's going to highlight. So what we need to do here is now make it, well, make that area as large as we want it. So get into that view. I'm going to say I want, if they try to search here, the bookcases, then that'll activate. And the other thing I've been doing, just because I'm using nav mesh and I don't need it, going to the original meshes here, and you see how they have colliders. I'm just removing it and then applying it as a prefab because it doesn't need a collider if I'm using nav meshes, if I'm doing that correctly. So there we go. I could rebake if I want to check it out. All right, we can reach over there. Yeah, I guess if we break it and go around. Let's see if we can. There's play. Yeah, never mind. I'm using an AOE thing right now, which is why it's breaking everything. Go around here. Oh, looks like we can't get there at the moment. Oh, there we go. It's a little tough. I'm gonna have to make this thing breakable, but now it's searchable. I click it, and there goes my drop, and there it is. All right, let's now make something we could break. Let's make these barrels. So the process is pretty similar. So I choose the thing I want to break. This is the original prefab. So I'm going to duplicate it. And on the highlight version, we don't need any of that. Atlas props 2. Yep. So I replace that with a highlighted version there. And then, all right, let's go back to where they were. Okay, so it's going to highlight looking like that. That's great. Let's also get the original. Bring that into here. So we got the original and we got the highlight. So a few things again. Not going to need the mesh colliders, but we'll leave them on for now. Let's go to the prefabs. Not my, there it is, under looting. We got the loot attackable, drag that in again. So you see, again, it's kind of, it's just empty, doesn't have any visual, just has all the functionality of it. It's got a similar process here. You got this base, which has that drop location, so we'll be able to change that in a moment. But anyways, so we have the original mesh. Okay, so this one I forgot to rename, so let's do that. And we'll just call it, that was 03. So this is then attackable version. Okay, so now I don't need to do this, I just kind of finicky like that. So I'll put that into the highlight mesh, reset it, take the other thing, put it into the original mesh, reset it. Now one thing here, I'm going to remove these. And I'm using a nav mesh, so if you're also using nav mesh, what's going to be nice is these things are going to break. So we could put something like a nav mesh obstacle on it. So that way it's an obstacle, we'll avoid it. But then when we break it, it'll disappear, so then we can walk over it like no big deal. So we'll put the nav mesh obstacle on that. Now the other thing is the broken version. So this is what, pieces. Right now I'm just using it for pieces to fly around. Again, I have these under looting. And you see debris. These are just, open it real quick. It's just a square right now, and then I shaped that square into looking like a wood piece here. And then the 3 wood pieces that break. So what I've done here then is made a variant of these. These are kind of the bases. And then they add a little bit of force onto them when they get made, so they kind of fly up in the air like you broke it, and then how long you want them to stay there till they disappear. If you want them to disappear, you can remove this if you don't want them to disappear. So what I've already done, I could drag in one of these, right? Broken pieces here, 3-piece, and then you see it. Oops, there it is. See the 3 pieces. And I could use those, and that's fine. But I've made a variant with this particular, here you go, with this asset pack that I've been using here, the multi-dungeons. So I'm going to use that because it has a different look to them. And there you go. And I might have to rethink the barrel debris because this doesn't make sense too much with barrels and make them later. But, you know, for testing, this is whatever. So we have the attackable base. I'm going to rename it, and I'll call it barrels, but this is barrels version 3. And now I'll make a variant of it. And then I'm gonna erase that. Double click into here. Okay. So one thing to keep in mind is the broken pieces. It's gonna be helpful. Like if you put them inside here, you might get some awkward behavior when they get broken and everything. So I've just been putting them above it and seeing how that works. The other thing is here, yep, let's get our box colliders. This is what detects when our mouse hovers over something. So, oops, so let's do, yeah, Unity up here. Okay, if we hover over any of that, that's great. I see there's a, so that's the other green box is the mesh obstacle. Okay, and this doesn't have any colliders on there, right? Okay, nice. And basically what these things are doing, now let's drag that in so we can replace it. Let's erase that one. Let's rotate that one, probably 90, yeah. Okay. Probably could do -90, but whatever. There we go. Now my drop location is a little off, so let's grab that. And, you know, let's make a drop over here just because we'll be probably coming from this way. Okay. It's looking a little better. And basically then how the loot, let's put that under attackables, how the loot attackables work in here, they have similar stuff, draw icon and the box collider which detects your mouse. So that's the same as the other thing. This is new, breakable. So basically these things have health on them. Um, yeah, and here's the table stats here. We could use table stats, it doesn't really matter. All it has is like 10 hit points, so you kill it in 1 hit. And then the breakable loot with our drops and drop location, all that stuff there. So I think with that, got there. Let's rebake this bad boy. So now it goes underneath there. Great. Let's save it. Let's see if we go break that box now. Creates boxes, whatever, same thing. I'm going to use glowy fist. That way I'm not doing AoE stuff. Okay, so you can search, break that. Oh, looks like I missed it. All these things. Alright, I'll have to check that, but here's that. Okay, that seems to be working fine. And then, boom. And we can walk over here, no big deal. Alright, and pick it all up. Okay, so this was giving me a problem. Let's take a look at it. Probably, if it doesn't highlight, yep. Check this box collider here that's on the parent, because this is what's going to detect the highlights. So I did not get this one appropriately lined up. My bad. Let's do that, and then all should be good. And that's pretty much it. So what I've been doing, perfect. Once I get the base, right? I'm making them down here in our prefabs. And once I get the base for all of these, I can, just drag them in, no big deal. So I can, just put a bunch of chests in there. All that stuff's already lined up for me. So I can just rotate them around and I know they're going to interact just fine. And now I've also been organizing them under tackables and interactables. Later on, I'll probably parent them to something so I can fold them out like that. But I'm not at that point right now. There's not that many of them. But that's it. Okay, so I thought maybe it would be useful to see the workflow with the attackables and interactables, or the things that we can search there. And I will keep doing this and see you later.